When they can't stop you, that's when it's fun. When they call for those captains, we're ready to roll.
In 2016, the Weber State football team took big steps forward and accomplished several goals, with more still to come. The year began with the Wildcats picked to finish 6th in the Big Sky in the preseason polls. When the dust settled, the Wildcats had back-to-back winning seasons, a 6-2 conference record to finish 3rd in the league standings, were ranked in the national polls, and earned a spot in the FCS Playoffs for the first time in 7 years. Head coach Jay Hill returned for his 3rd season at Weber State, and as practice began for the season in August, the Wildcats had a group that included 17 returning starters and 44 letter winners. Expectations were high for the upcoming season. The year started with another difficult schedule as the Wildcats began the season with a loss at Utah State, followed by a tough overtime defeat at South Dakota. The Wildcats returned home to Stewart Stadium and beat Sacramento State 14-7 to get on the winning track. Jadrian Clark accumulated 451 yards of total offense and had a 10-yard touchdown run in the final minutes to seal the victory over the Hornets. The 451 yards of total offense ranked as the 10th most in a game in Weber State history.
Sacramento State comes into town, but Weber State finishes them off with a late touchdown. And the Cats get the victory, 14-7.
Weber State started Big Sky play at UC Davis and beat the Aggies 38-35 in a wild conference opener. The Wildcats jumped out to a 32-10 lead in the second half before the Aggies came rallying back on a 22-3 run to tie the game at 35 with less than 2 minutes to play. UC Davis fumbled on a punt return forced by Josh Burton and recovered by Trayvon Johnson. That set up a game-winning 35-yard field goal by Taylor Heinz as time expired to clinch a 38-35 win for the Wildcats. For his performance, making 3 field goals in the victory, including a 54-yarder, the 3rd longest in Weber State history, Heinz was recognized as the National Player of the Week.
It's good. Ball game over, and Weber State wins on the game's final play, 38-35.
Well, after that crazy game, the Cats had a week off before returning home for back-to-back games. Weber State started the homestand with a 14-10 homecoming win over Portland State.
3rd and short. Clark. Clark's got the first down and more. Clark has an open field. Does he have the speed? Clark is rumbling all the way down to the 10-yard line at 3rd down and 8. Screen set up. They got room. First down and more. Emmanuel Pooler to midfield. And Clark again looking right over the middle. Touchdown, Cats falling.
But a big win for Jadrian Clark, who started off slow, but gets the win for his team tonight against the Portland State Vikings.
The next week, the Wildcats beat Montana State 45-27 for their 4th straight victory. Weber State had 435 yards of total offense against the Bobcats, and the Wildcats scored touchdowns on their first 6 offensive possessions, with Jadrian Clark throwing for 4 touchdowns and Heine Moimoy rushing for 2 more. Riding a 4-game winning streak, the Wildcats hit the road to in-state rival Southern Utah, looking to beat the Thunderbirds for the first time in 4 years. The start couldn't have been worse. The ending couldn't have been better for the Wildcats. Southern Utah dominated the first half and jumped out to a 23-6 lead. The lone highlight in the first half was a 91-yard punt by Jacob DeMaio, the longest punt in Big Sky history and the longest punt of any player in any division in the nation this season. Weber State trailed by 22 points, 36-14, with 7:15 left in the game, but never quit playing. Stephen Cantwell rushed for a 10-yard touchdown.
And the backup quarterback goes in. Stephen Cantwell runs it right through the Thunderbird defense.
Then the Wildcats forced a safety to cut the deficit to 13 points with 5:47 to play.
It's a touchdown for Weber State if they got it in the end zone. A safety.
Wow.
Southern Utah recovered it in the end zone, and now they'll have to kick off.
The Cats then drove right down the field, and Clark found Andrew Vollert for an 11-yard touchdown to cut the deficit to 6 with 2:21 left.
What a catch. He bobbled it and knew where it was at, did a little double toe tap, and sucked it in.
And again, it was Volmert.
That throw just over the top.
After a defensive stop, the Wildcats got the ball with 1:13 left to play. 4 plays later, Clark found Daryl Denby for a 40-yard touchdown.
Are you kidding
Denby
me?
It was.
Daryl Denby got behind the DB in front of the safety, catches it about the 10, untouched end zone. What a comeback.
With 31 seconds left, that sealed the incredible 37-36 comeback win as the Wildcats finished the game with 23 unanswered points and picked up their 5th straight victory.
And it's intercepted by Weber in the end zone, and the Wildcats pull out a win.
They celebrate a miraculous, unbelievable. If I wasn't here, I wouldn't believe that just happened. They're celebrating. Down 36-14, they win 37-36. Everybody here at Eccles Coliseum is completely stunned right now, Art.
The 5-game winning streak was Weber State's longest winning streak in 8 years, and the Cats found themselves on top of the Big Sky standings at 4-0, heading into a first-place showdown at North Dakota. But turnovers cost the Wildcats as they fell 27-19 to the number 17 Fighting Hawks. The Wildcats returned home to host Northern Arizona with playoff hopes in sight. But after a 33-20 loss to the Lumberjacks, the playoffs were in the balance as Weber State hosted nationally ranked Cal Poly in the final home game of the season. Prior to that contest, Weber State honored its 17 seniors on the team. It was the final home game at Stewart Stadium for Tyrone Brown, Josh Burton, Jadrian Clark, Jalen Fields, Halem Haimuli, Trayvon Johnson, Heine Moy, Emmanuel Pooler, Connor Shannon, Calvin Stain, Ross Dribbling, Corey Thompson, Chandler Tunney, and Cameron Young. The Wildcats sent the seniors out in style in their final home game. The Cats jumped out to a 15-0 lead against the Mustangs, and the Wildcat defense held Cal Poly to a season-low rushing total. Weber State held on for a 22-15 lead and victory to keep its playoff hopes alive.
It's May, and May bowls his way into the end zone. Graves again, the pressure, fires downfield, and it's batted away. The Cats have held.
And look at the sideline for Weber State.
Weber State will win on Senior Day.
Huge play. Beautiful moment for Coach Hill. They'll have one more game that is coming up on the 19th at Idaho State, trying to get to 7 wins.
Weber State knew it had to win its final regular season game at Idaho State to have a chance for a playoff selection and to finish 3rd in the conference standings. The Cats trailed at halftime but came out with 3 straight scores in the second half to beat the Bengals for their 7th win of the year. The next day, Weber State received word it was headed to the FCS Playoffs for the first time in 7 years.
They'll await the winner of Chattanooga and Weber.
Well, super excited for the team. This team, and especially the group of seniors, really deserves this opportunity. So we're excited to go play Chattanooga. Don't know anything about them at this point, but we're excited to go play.
Wildcats were on their way to Tennessee to take on number 11 Chattanooga in the first round. The year ended with a loss to the nationally ranked Mocs. As the season came to an end, 13 Wildcats were honored by the coaches around the Big Sky Conference. 2 Wildcats earned first-team All-Big Sky honors. Senior linebacker Trayvon Johnson finished his career by earning first-team honors for the first time after leading the Wildcats in sacks and tackles for loss, and finishing second in overall tackles. Junior tight end Andrew Vollert was named Big Sky Newcomer of the Year, earned first team All-Big Sky honors after earning All-American honors after leading Weber State in receiving yards, receptions, and touchdowns this season. 5 players were named to the Big Sky All-Conference second team. Senior safety Josh Burton, junior punter Jacob DeMaio, junior cornerback Taryn Johnson, senior tackle Calvin Stain, and senior guard Cameron Young all earned second team spots. 2 more players, senior quarterback Jadrian Clark and senior Corey Thompson, earned third team All Big Sky honors. 4 other Wildcats earned honorable mention All Big Sky honors. Senior Cameron Livingston, junior McKay Murphy, sophomore Yusue Opeta, and sophomore Landon Stice were all honored by the conference. The Wildcats took some big strides and accomplished several goals in 2016, but still have more to come in the future. Preparations are already underway for the 2017 season, which begins at home on September 2nd. Under Coach Hills and the rest of the staff's leadership, the future is bright for Weber State football. We are Weber.